Good morning. You're welcome to Women's Corner. My name is Rose Blossom. Of course, you know what we do here, so I'm just going to go straight to the point. I'm here with my co-host, Patricia. Patricia, how you doing? Good morning.
Good morning.
It's good to see you.
Good to see you too.
Anyway, before we do our little chit chat, we have a commercial break. So let's go for our commercial break. We'll be right back to the studio. Stay with us. Back, yes, to watching Women's Corner, and of course to watch this program live, you can go to our Facebook or YouTube with Galaxy Television News on YouTube, and on Facebook is Galaxy Television, and of course our digitized channel at UHF 27. Well, if you want a part of the show, I always say if you want to share your success story or you want to enlighten women, you can go to our comment section on all our various social media pages and indicate, and of course we'll get back to you. Okay, Patricia, it's Friday. Is it Friday for you?
It's Friday for me already.
It's Friday.
Oh my God. I just can't wait to, conclude today's episodes of Women's Corner.
Yes. Yes. It's not just Women's Corner. We also have another show to, handle.
Well, we're starting off with Women's Corner.
Yes, we're starting off with Women's Corner. And yes, I have a guest in the house. Drum rolls. We have Gabriel. The way she sat up. Gabriel, it's good to have you. Good morning.
Good morning.
How you doing?
I'm doing very well.
You should consider modeling. Sure, you know that. You must have heard that a lot.
Yeah, I still hear it a lot.
Okay,
I just heard it now.
Okay.
Good morning, Patricia. Good morning. I want to ask, are you my sister that I never know?
Why?
Why are you answering my surname?
Your surname is
Don't
what?
start. Her surname is Gabriel.
Oh, really?
Nice to meet you. Well, maybe I should, I don't know. Should I
stay off the program today?
Maybe I should just take a walk.
For the Gabriels.
Yeah, for the Gabriels
Gabriel's family.
Anyways, good to have you in the studio. And of course, Gabriel is an engineer. She's a broadcast presenter. She's a life coach and she's a speaker. And of course, today we're talking about, breaking fashion stereotype, of course, for women. Talking about the Gen X and the Gen Z. But before we start talking, let's quickly go for a tip. This one is about an event we had recently, and because it's Friday, I was supposed to wear something native also, just because of this event. But it's not Adire.
I'm representing.
It's not Adire. The event I want
Doesn't
to show
have to be Adire.
Well, I don't know if you remember this movie a long time ago where we had the premiere for Adire, and of course we saw a lot of people giving us fashion with Adire attire. So let's quickly go through that entertainment. Then of course we'll be right back to continue the program with Gabriela, and Gabriel, Patricia, and Rose Blossom. We'll be right back. Welcome back. You're still watching Women's Corner. This is your favorite program where women gather, chit chat, talk about themselves, the success story, and of course educate people. We still have Gabriela in the studio. I don't care about my host for today. My co-host actually. Because they've, I don't know what meeting you guys did behind camera while we're still watching the event. But anyways, it's good you found a sister that you begged for.
A pretty sister. But anyways, we want to co-anchor the show. You'll be our guest.
No problem. Take the floor.
Yeah. Take the floor.
Okay.
Marvel,
that is I should keep talking, right?
No way.
Right?
Talk.
Diwe. Fredo.
She's trying.
I told you. I got some linguistic ears. Anyway, let's go back to the program. So let's talk about breaking the fashion stereotype that we have. Now, of course, we know that there's a stereotype of the kind of fashion that people wear some trend. Like you could have maybe for 5 years, a particular, like now what Patricia is wearing, not this particular one. We could know that a lot of people wear this particular kind of style, but they have a pocket by the side. And at some point, you even hear men complain that, why is it that everywhere you go, you can count, there was a fashion show in Lagos and you can count close to more than half of the ladies who came for the fashion show had Adire sewn baggy, big trouser that has pocket by the side, and the men were complaining like, is there no other clothes again? Is this the to go wear? But let's look at it. It's comfortable and it's modest. It's unlike what the usual Gen Z will see where there's this exposure. Everything is exposed. The tummy is exposed. The cleavage is exposed.
Everything.
The back is exposed, and they actually do not care. For them, they feel they are comfortable, but it's not modesty. What would you say about all of this that I just mentioned?
Okay. So first of all, when you told me the topic,
Mm.
I already told you that breaking fashion stereotypes in women is a very broad topic.
Very broad, yeah.
Because when you are saying women, so first of all, you've narrowed it down to women in Nigeria.
Mm-hmm.
So when you're saying women, you're looking at, okay, what age range? Because there are stereotypes based on age.
Yeah.
And then there's stereotype based on marital status.
Mhm.
And then there's stereotype based on profession.
Mm-hmm.
There's stereotype based on religion.
Mm-hmm.
So these are like different aspects
Mm-hmm.
of stereotypes. So if we're looking at specifically Gen Zs in relation to how they dress and how, I mean, modesty is a value and a virtue
Mhm.
that we uphold in Nigeria, whether we want to accept it
Or
or
not,
It
right?
is. So what I'd have to say to that is, I know every generation comes with their
Yeah,
own
fashion.
peculiarities.
Yes.
And for the Gen Zs, they see it as, that's what life is.
Hmm.
And
But is that how life is, truly?
that's not how life is, but then not our life in Nigeria.
Yeah,
There is a life
Outside
they are looking at.
Nigeria. Oh, yes.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
they're copying the
Yeah.
Western
They're copying
world.
the Western world.
Yes.
And you notice that nowadays, parents and elders and teachers don't even talk as much as they used to
Mhm.
back then.
Mhm.
So for me, I'm Gen Z, but I'm like the in-between
In
Gen Z and
between, yeah.
millennials. So,
Put it as
so
a
I
smart
have
one.
more of, thank you, I have more of the millennial traits.
Yeah.
And so the way parents used to talk back then, because the truth is, what helps to set us right were all those talkings and corrections.
Mhm, mhm.
And then you could see me and say, you don't even know me, but you could see me and
You
say,
don't
this
have to
thing
be
you
my
are-
child.
Mhm.
I don't have to be your child for you to, I don't even have to be related to you for you to
Yeah.
correct me.
Yeah.
But nowadays it's not like that. So it's more like everything is free to air. They
Mhm.
can do what they want. Nobody's saying anything. And we are actually losing a particular generation.
Yeah.
That's what we don't realize.
Mhm.
We are losing them.
Mhm. And it's not just about that generation, it's about the continuity
Thank
of it.
you.
Yes,
And
because
so it's like, if we are losing them already,
Mhm.
then we know that the Gen Alphas, they are lost
they are
already.
lost already.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Because,
Wow.
I mean,
That's the conclusion.
Yeah, it is. Because,
it is
that's
because
actually- yeah.
who we train who?
Because that's the thing. If I'm not well trained, so am I supposed to train someone?
Someone
What's
else.
the training that I have so that I'll be able to pass
You
down?
can't give what you don't have.
Oh yeah.
So what's the advice to the mothers now?
No, aside the advice, before we go to advice, that's like the last thing. Let's talk about what is happening right now. Because you said something that if you don't train them, for a fact, if you talk to a Gen Z about how they dress, it's a no. A lot of people who handle this Gen Z will tell you, see, it's not like you can't talk to them, but you have to have a certain relationship with them. At that point, you'll be able to talk to them and they would listen to you. At that point, they feel like, okay, at least she helps me, she gives me this, she buys me stuff, she takes me out or whatever. That way she'll be able to listen to, let me adjust, kinda. So do you think it's very possible that somehow maybe young parents can actually condone this thing of people correcting their child, because it starts from the home. Sometimes they don't even want you to correct their children, because if they don't want you to. When they grow up, you can't walk up to them and say, why is your tummy showing? What's all this? Why is so much skin? And some of them, the kind of eye they will even give you, you will just
intimidating.
it's intimidating. You just keep quiet. So what do you think can be done to avoid all of these things I just explained?
Okay, so first of all, I coach teenagers. And so I realized that there is a way to talk to Gen Zs.
Mm.
The way millennials were talked to, if you talk to Gen Z like that, you lose them.
Mm.
So there is a way to talk to them. So it calls for parents and wards, guardians, teachers, whoever, people that are in that position that are responsible for the next generation to learn. It calls for some learning. And unlearning, you have to unlearn how you were brought up for those millennials.
Okay.
You have to unlearn it and learn how. So Gen Zs, you can't talk to them, but there is a way to talk to them.
So what's the way to talk to them?
Before asking for what's the way, I've also found out that in churches, these millennials dress like that. And the pastors' wives, the leaders in the church don't complain. They don't find it wrong in dressing. Because I remember as growing up child in church, there's a way you dress. Your leaders in church will come to order.
Their eyes alone.
Their eyes alone will speak to you. You will leave the church. I've seen young children dress, coming to church with short knickers, t-shirts, and their parents holding their hands. When I say young children, from 10, 11, 12, You should have taught them that, okay, this is wrong. Don't wear short knickers to church or very short skirts to church. But today, parents are the ones holding their children, their daughters into churches with such outfits. And then the leaders in the church are not complaining.
But for me, for one, I don't think I've seen where someone wore something that short, like you're saying, to church, and they were not bounced back, or they were not giving a
I
raka.
have seen,
depends on the church.
Depends on the church.
What kind of church?
I have seen, we don't need to mention names here.
Yeah, obviously,
I have seen a lot of people walk into church where I'm seated, and I go like, I'm even distracted. Do you understand?
Imagine if you are distracted.
Even the guys.
And then the person on the pulpit.
Yeah, the person on the pulpit. And the
People
guy
just
is
complaining. That's what I'm complaining about right now. That's my problem. If the pastor is watching and is not complaining, me that is seated, I'm not the pastor. I am, using my eye to complain.
And so for me, I think that's why we have programs like this.
Mm-hmm.
Because we keep quiet long enough. Everybody relaxes and everything becomes okay. Everybody becomes okay with anything.
Mm-hmm.
But when we have programs like this, it's like a call to people to say, please wake up to this.
Mm-hmm.
There are some churches that I know of that they may not walk you out, but maybe towards the end of the service, maybe during announcements, the pastor just chips it in and says, let's be mindful in a very polite way. And there's something that I noticed nowadays that is predominant. There is this fear of millennials and above. They are afraid. That's for the millennials who are not caught up in this new woke act. They are afraid to talk.
Why do you think so?
Why?
I don't think so. They are afraid to talk.
Why?
Okay, like why?
Why?
Why are they afraid? I don't know. That's so I've been thinking about it. I reflect and retrospect a lot, but I've not gotten the why. But at least I was able to break into the space to understand that they are afraid. Like they are very afraid. So when you say pastors don't talk, some of them.
So do you think it's because
they don't want to lose their members?
There are so many things they are afraid of. So there is it's a lot. So there is okay, you know how back then, like you said, if somebody could be correcting you, and that woman correcting you, our own daughter is doing something else. But she'll be bold enough to correct you. Now, that there's a fear of, am I really in good standing? Am my own children?
Am I even a standard?
Are my children doing the right thing?
On what basis do I have to talk to somebody else? It's a type of fear that we accept it or not. And so there's a part of, I don't want to offend. You're considering that's one type of fear. Then there's a fear of, I don't want to have to offend people. And then you're looking at their social status. And like, can I talk to this person? And then there's the fear of, what everybody knows of, okay, maybe because this person does something in church, would that make them want to leave down or want to leave? It's fear.
And I should add to that fear too. The fear of, that's what is involved.
Thank you.
I don't want to go tell this person, and the person goes like, don't you know this is what is involved?
And then you look like
you look like, exactly.
I'd rather actually look outdated.
So I think that's the essence of this program. It's a call to wake up call. Because if you have to look past your fear. No, I always used to wonder why you would see another man or woman whose family member or somebody close to them is in the wrong, but they are bold enough to come and correct you.
Of course, yes.
I always used to think about it, but now with what is happening now, and that was years back, but with what is happening nowadays, I think we should get back to that kind of boldness.
Right.
Yes. Because the truth is, when you say, your own child is doing this and you're correcting, what if that person is correcting their own child? And we have to understand that somebody correcting another person is for that person to They're not going to benefit from it. Especially, and this is for parents who have a problem with people correcting their children. I don't even know where that mindset came from. I feel it's just, how different things just evolve, and it's just life. How people just wake up and all of a sudden it's a good thing to say nobody can talk to my child. It's just a good thing. And like, you can't
don't talk to my child.
I don't, and like, I don't know where it came from. But you know how different, as life evolves, we have the Stone Age, the Jet Age and all of that. Different winds just come in certain seasons, and we are in the age where
we should go back.
Because we're in the age where parents just woke up and they're like, you can't talk to my child. I'm like, from where to where? Like, how did they get here? So this is more like a wake up call because we are losing them.
Yeah. And you know, the amazing thing is sometimes you go to gathering of people, young adults, and you see that, let's say someone like me or someone like her will see a younger person dressing a little bit exposed, you know, some skin and everything. And they will see another person who is wearing a very normal gown, you know, all covered, looking amazing. And you see people like us will still go and meet. That's what we're saying, the millennials. They'll still go and meet that Gen Z that is exposed and like, oh, you look so good. Oh, I love the fabrics. Where did you get it from? What store? We need to stop that.
Yes.
The person that is all covered up, I think, is the person that deserves that compliment. More pretty, because I don't know, modesty and
that has to do with redefining beauty.
Exactly. How do they define beauty? That's the point.
So because we have, I mean, everything else, excuse me. I mean, TV is defining beauty, YouTube is defining beauty, Instagram is defining beauty, influencers are defining beauty, celebrities are defining, leaders, I mean, key stakeholders in society are defining beauty. And those are the people we need to speak to now. Right. Because we need to understand that. And so here's the thing. You are, let's say, an influencer. And that's that's my personal style, that's my personality. And you are maybe 26 or 32, 33, 35 years old. You were not exposed to all of that when you were 10, when you were 15.
Yeah, that's true.
But now, and I feel it's as a result of a lack of a sense of responsibility. Because if you see yourself as responsible for the generation behind you, it comes with that caution to say, I know I'm an adult, I can. It's my personality, but because of those behind me, let me know.
I need to,
Because at that age, you were not if you were exposed to that, you won't turn out to be what you are.
True.
And a lot of time, people, I mean, we tend to avoid that topic of what goes wrong when women are improperly dressed. We like to avoid the insecurity part of that topic, but it's true.
That's the truth.
It's true. A child watching you don't know what happens at school, you don't know what happens when she goes out with friends, and then she thinks it's work to do this. And if the fact still remains that if a woman is, in fact, you can be properly covered up and a man will still lost.
Of course, yes.
Now talk of when you're not properly
covered.
And so you leave a child with that mindset to say it's the in thing, and then she goes out and she's exposed to so many, to harassment and all of that. And people don't talk about these things. In fact, another type of wokeness is now the fact that they come out to say, he harassed me, why would he do that? And they're justifying it. So there is a sense of responsibility that is going away now.
And you know what? We made a research recently and we noticed that over 90% of ladies and men now, they don't even look at it as harassment. You know, it was before. Somebody comes to me and taps me, I will give it to you. But, you know, they now will be the ones to subject themselves to so many, kind of callings and all of that, which could be sensed as harassment. But because of the times we are, they don't sense that harassment is normal. You didn't do anything. I'm not naked.
And we will lose a generation if we don't sit up.
We don't sit up, right?
Not just one generation.
Anyway, we have to go for a break. Let's take a break. We need to, calm down because it's getting really, really deep. Well, anyways, we'll be taking a break, and this break is just for us to take some water. I know you have drink. Take some water. I will be right back to continue the program. Still talking about breaking the stereotype in fashion for women. So let's take the next tip, and the tip we'll be taking is Junior's hacks for cleaning. Now I know it's Saturday. This is for me. I don't know. Growing up, Saturday is when you pack all the chairs and everything in the kitchen.
It's not like that anymore.
It's not like that anymore. That's the point.
They are looking for parties to go to.
No one there parties. Thank God it's Friday. So yes, this is the time you clean your house during the weekend and, rearrange the chairs, how the TV is, everything. But anyways, let's just check this hack. We'll be right back to the studio to continue the program. Stay with us. So watching Women's Corner. And of course, we're talking about breaking the fashion stereotype in women. Well, strictly to African women, Nigerian women, actually.
Nigerian women. Let's break it down to Nigeria.
Let's break it down to Nigeria. So yes, we're talking about a whole lot of things. So I want to ask a question to drift a little bit from the previous conversation, is the fact of the pastor. Now, I've heard some pastors, one-on-one just ask them, why do they actually allow people dressed like that to church? And they said that people basically do not understand the orientation of a church, because it said from the Bible that he knows everybody's welcome to church. The person that oiled Jesus' leg was a prostitute. She used the most expensive perfume, and he gave an example stating that who amongst you can even do what she's doing? Nobody has even done that. Talk about using the most valuable possession of yours. So he said most people that come to the hospital, to the church, it looks at them as though sick people coming to the hospital to get treated. So come as you are. Obviously, after you stay, they groom you with this cell meeting, you join prayer meeting, or you do one or two things just by yourself. You would understand that even what you're wearing, you will change. And he said he has seen a lot, without even being spoken to, a lot of people that they've infused into different departments on their own decide to change. And that way they were able to talk to more Gen Zs to come in. And when those Gen Zs come in, you find out that, and for a fact, there's one church I know in Ogun State. Then we always have a very big issue with that particular church. Dress anyhow, wear skimpy, let it even be like a bra top, coming. But I noticed that over the years, most of them dress amazing. Like it's something that I feel like every church will understand. But another thing is, if you are not careful, if you allow them to keep doing that, how are you sure that one day, let me not use the word Jezebel, will come and corrupt every other person?
Because with that, a lot will be going on without the pastor knowing.
No,
it's not just the dressing. It's the activities that goes on with the dressing. Okay, goes on. Yeah, a lot of activities we go on without dressing also. Without the pastor knowing. Fantastic what he has just said, truly. But if there's no stopping them, activities will go on without even the parents or the pastors or the leaders of the church knowing what is going on.
So like my pastor would say, come as you are, allowed to come as you are, but don't stay as you are.
Exactly. So there must be programs that will, talk to these Gen Zs when they come in like that for them to be able to.
And the thing is, I must say this, we should understand that we shouldn't look at them. One good approach is don't look at them like,
what is this one?
What you're doing is bad. The truth is, a lot of them don't know. Like, you know what it means when you don't know something.
You don't know something. They just go
in
with the trend.
all sincerity, they don't know. So some of them just see life as that's how it is. In fact, because for some of us, even what we think we know now, as and when our parents were talking to us or people who spoke to us, as and when they spoke to us, it wasn't everything that we comprehended. For me, it wasn't everything I understood. It took me some time to understand some things. So now imagine a generation that is not even spoken to. Parents don't talk to them because parents on their own are afraid. That's another topic. So when I say they don't know, they really don't know. So it's more of from a place of concern and love. That's how to get them. They're asking me how to talk to them. That's one way to talk to them. If you come from the
place of love,
from a place of maybe accusing them or talking to them with contempt or disgust, you lose them. In fact, you've lost them. But if you come from a place of love and concern, because if you're talking to somebody from love, your choice of words will be different. How you say it will be different.
Yes, true.
So the mindset with which you're talking to them is key.
Is key. I love that mindset. So now that means we can actually break the stereotype.
Yeah. Hopefully.
Yes. No, it is breakable.
It is breakable. It will take a while, right?
Yeah, it's a while.
It's more like should we say one person per time? The ones that are around you. Because you need to be bold. I know, I said I coach teenagers. There are times where I'm like,
look, okay, let me tell you something. Why I said,
should you what? I need to have to finish what she's saying. Should you what?
Sometimes I feel intimidated and I'm like, should I?
Really?
Let me just
stay on my own.
Yes. But I have to remind myself, say, there's a reason why you're here. So turn that face again and do this.
Oh, wow.
Yes. That's so when I say be bold, I struggle with it. But there are times I have to talk to myself and say, you can do this. And then I'm like, I really think it through and say, how do I enter this child? And you will get they are
it might take time.
Yes. Some of them might take time, some might not.
Some might not even listen.
Some might not listen. It's true. Because, I mean, even Jesus.
Even
Jesus said, thank you for the ones you gave me. None was lost except the one that was already destined to say.
Yeah.
Because talking about this now, I remember one particular teenager like that. Everybody spoke. She never listened to anybody.
Wow.
The mom would say, you will help me talk to this girl. you know, when the mother is coming to you, say,
Mhm.
Auntie, help me talk to this girl. She'll be going around those teachers like that. But help me talk to this girl. She
Nothing.
didn't listen to anybody. So you already know that was one out of how many.
So, but
teenagers
talking
there.
with her, what could you sense might have been the problem why
Why
she's
she won't
not
listen.
listening to
So I
anybody?
couldn't really break into her because I didn't really get love sessions with her.
Oh, okay.
There were, but the only thing I could pick from what her mom would say was that the father used to encourage her. And I'm wondering why a father would do that. But I feel like if I wanted to go into that, I might be more. I'm going to, there's going to
I
be
hope
more
the father is not,
to that story.
you know, violating
There
her.
is a possibility because I'm
But
like,
have
if you
heard that
see,
boldness?
and then she's endowed as a teenager.
Oh, wow.
14, maybe 15 years old, like really endowed. And I'm like, why would you encourage your daughter? I over the years, I used to, this is more than 5 years now. I used to think about, because I mean, she's still on my mind. But I never really could break into that story. But I'm saying that was one out of her many. And the mother, from the mother would hear, she would say, because I talked to her, but then the father reprimands her. For talking to the daughter. Yes.
Wow.
So it's more like she cannot talk to her. Because the father is,
I guess that's
there
like
must be more to it.
Mhm.
But for my story anyway, it didn't have to do with the mother or the father. He's a grown-up boy. So he came visiting my son, and of course he had dreadlocks. I don't have anything against dreadlocks, but it's not my style. Okay, so I found out that his nails were paint. He had black paint on his nails.
Yeah.
So I got disgusted, and I called. I said, what do you have? He's into show, into entertainment and all that. It's because of my kind of job. I said, no, you can do this job without painting your nails. Your dreadlock is good enough.
It's already good enough.
I don't like dreadlock, but because of you're an entertainment person, it's okay. Why are you painting your nails? What are you going to tell your younger ones? I said, no, we kept talking, and, I showed him love. I gave him food. We talked about it. So get it off the next time you want to come here. I won't like to see them. I said, okay, they never came to my house again.
It's peer pressure.
You just lost one. I just lost one.
No, that's something I haven't mentioned, or no other person has mentioned. There's peer pressure. For that guy who told you that that's what they do. There's peer pressure. And whether we like it or not, peer pressure is a real thing.
It's a very big issue.
Something that if you don't address it with a person, because I'm not just going to say child now, even adults to get on that peer
He's
pressure.
an adult.
So if you don't address it with that person, or if that individual doesn't address that issue, he wouldn't even know that it's there. So peer pressure is real because it's the end thing. It's a real struggle to be able to maintain your identity, to craft your identity,
Right.
And then to maintain that identity you've crafted.
So I think maybe that's an identity for him.
Yes.
So if
a lot of people have identity crisis and they don't know.
Yeah.
Because if you get to talk to him, like if he gets to the point where he can open up to you, you might find out that he might not even like dreadlocks. He might be more handsome with maybe afro.
I know him when he didn't have dreadlocks. So he might
be more handsome, barbing fade. But because that peer pressure is there, like, now in the rain.
That's the rain.
That's it.
And then they do entertainment.
And if you do entertainment, it must look like this, because that's how you go take sell. But people don't even realize that there is a place of authenticity in being your authentic self. So for instance, let me be very vulnerable. My mom used to tell me, wigs, I shouldn't wear wigs. I was like, this woman, you're doing so much. Because I thought it was like the normal, don't paint your nails, and then don't wear trousers. I'm like, okay, you have come now, we have struggled and fought those battles of nails and trousers, now we're fighting battles of wigs. And then there was this one Christmas I went to, maybe some 3 years ago. And then she really complimented me. She was like, oh, your hair is so fine. Every time I walk past her, Mom, you look so beautiful. In the house during that holiday.
What hair was that?
I can't remember the style. You look so beautiful. I came back to Lagos. You look so beautiful. Remember I told you your hair fits you.
Oh, wow.
She would end the call and say, remember, you look so beautiful. Do you know she said it and said it and said it? It was maybe last year that I finally accepted
that you are beautiful.
True.
I love that. I love what you did. She broke it.
Like it was I know
what it is to wear wigs.
I'm demonstrating it was a struggle.
Yes.
It was a struggle because For me, it was the thing.
It was a thing. Yeah.
I mean, I got
Everybody's
those
wearing
trades,
wigs.
and I was buying one. I'm like,
Yeah.
what are you saying? By force, by fire. In my eyes, it's fine. But it was last year, if I'm not mistaken, that I finally, honestly, this is not because, it's not because it's religion, it's not because she was, I look more beautiful with my natural hair than I do. So now if you see me on wig, maybe it's because I don't want to make hair, all those
Or maybe
things,
you just want to just stay, yeah. True.
That's the way you look very pretty.
You look, I was going to say, I even told that.
Why are you wearing
pretty.
wig? Why are you wasting
Not start. Not start. She has already said what she wants. Which is why you wearing wig. I'm wearing wigs. What do you mean?
Don't feel attacked.
Don't feel attacked. Because I know why you're wearing wig.
Okay, yes, you know what. So it's one of those reasons she said, like, I just finished losing my hair. Let me just rest a bit.
So, I mean, it's different from when I wanted to wear wig because
Everybody's wearing it.
I saw it as life. So it took me to get in touch with myself to say, what really is the authentic me? Like, I really look beautiful with my natural hair. Now I hate wigs. I have them because I just have to wear them for emergency situations. Or maybe when I have shoots and I have to change hairstyles.
Okay.
And even that one, I have to really manipulate the wig a lot for it to give me that feeling of, to make me feel like my authentic self.
Oh, wow.
I mean, peer pressure is real. And it's a fight that we have to help the Gen Zs. You need to help them because a lot of them don't know what they're fighting. You know when you're fighting and you don't know what is fighting.
But you just know you're just moving or something.
And you're just doing the force.
Yeah.
Peer pressure is a strong force. And then you're just going and you don't even know how you got here. Because I'm like, how did I get here? For instance, I don't know. But it became a thing that
you just wanted to.
The truth is, I used to be irritated and angry when she would tell me the natural hair fits. I'm like, yes. At the point I was like, I said every phone call, almost every phone call that she would call to greet me. She will end it with, you look beautiful. Remember I told you that hair you made is fine.
She made it look very loving.
Yeah.
Not being harsh about it.
Yeah, aggressive.
And we should
learn from that. Really.
Of course, yes.
We should learn from that.
And her tone. So I think at a point, now that I think about it, when you said, at a point I started to feel the love in what she was saying. That was where it started to, that was what brought me to retrospect. Because I didn't get there immediately. I said 3 years ago, and it was last year. So it was a journey for me. But at the point I started to feel, because her tone was calm. Remember I told you.
You look so pretty without it.
I open my WhatsApp now. She sent me a message last week.
Yeah.
There was something I posted. She said, I'm not, your hair is beautiful. She said, your hair is pretty. I'm not even joking.
So she kept, that's the best way to actually
name
work
that
around
way,
that.
Yeah. And she never got tired for 3 years.
Wow.
This is Thursday, June 5th. You are beautiful. Keep this hairstyle up. It was just my natural haircut.
Mothers out there, please learn.
Please learn. That's how to get to your children. Be bold. Don't be scared or anything.
And say it in a sweet way.
In a sweet way. Don't be, and not just mothers. Even
Don't
if you
get
want to
upset
correct
about
the Gen Zs or talk to them, you said something in love. That's the best way to get to them. You have to be mild and be loving out of concern. Don't do it like you bought them those words. And trust me, some of these words are very expensive. So
they are.
That's what I'm saying. They are very expensive. So
let's not even go there.
Imagine somebody buying a 2-piece and that 2-piece is about 50 something or 60 something, and you're saying, don't wear that stuff. And probably what you're wearing, she sized you, and it's not even up to.
Maybe it's a dress of 7K. Who be this one?
Yes.
Who be this one? What she saying?
That person won't listen to you.
No, won't listen because of, the answer. But anyways, let's just wrap up the show because our time is fast. But I'm enjoying this. Which one question? We are 3 minutes gone already.
I know.
Anyway, it's been amazing, Gabriel. Gabriela. It's been beautiful. And trust me, every time you are in the studio or you're joining us via Zoom, it's always fabulous. Trust me, I enjoy it. It's been a long time. So now that this has come up again, I think I'll be bringing you sooner than you think.
Okay.
I get to the studio.
I would love to have you too.
Thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed the show.
I did. I had a good time.
Yes,
I enjoyed the conversations.
I am
a
a sister.
What's this? Give me your hands. I'm a sister too. Anyways, we've come to the end of the show. I hope you enjoyed the show. And of course, for mothers and people who want to make a change, the change starts with you. I hope you will go back to our Facebook or our YouTube and watch this program, all over again, so you can get to know the best way to get to the Gen Z, to break the stereotype and make sure that nudity does not supersede modesty, but modesty is the key. Anyways, let's go.
Change starts with the mothers.
She just
say
said
that
that.
the change starts with the mothers.
Yes.
Anyway, mothers out there, Gabriela has told us a whole lot and we hope we learn from her. Please key into what she has said and talk to the Genesis with love. That's what she said, with love. I remain Patricia Uren Givers.
Yes, and my name is Rose Blossom. I'll see you pretty soon on The Buzz. We'll talk about what's buzzing on the social media and, of course, in the entertainment world. So you do not want to miss us. Keep it locked with us. We'll be seeing you pretty soon. Have a beautiful day. Bye.